So this is the FlexiSpot electric height adjustable desk, option E5, which is the 3-stage inverted option. Now, I would probably say that the fine folks at FlexiSpot would not recommend that you use this as a lift, as I lift myself up to my ceiling here in my office, and I would not recommend that you use it as a lift. However, this desk is rated for 275 pounds. I go around 180, 185. I haven't weighed myself in a while, so I just wanted to test it out and see if it works. Obviously, it will lift me. Now let's bring it back down here a little bit. So this is obviously a height adjustable desk. It has 2 motors on it, and there's several options to it. So as I bring myself down here, I'll get off the desk and we'll take a look around. So you should definitely know before we continue on that the fine folks at FlexiSpot gave me this desk for review, so I get to keep it. However, I'm not getting paid to do this video. I'm not getting any money if you choose to buy this desk. There is a link in the description down below where you can buy it, but I don't get any money off of that. So that's full disclosure right there. The only thing that they told me was, hey, do you want to review one of our desks? I said, sure. They said, what kind of options do you want? What base do you want? What top do you want? And what's your mailing address? They sent it out to me, and then they sent me a link. They didn't tell me when they wanted this posted. They didn't say, hey, we want to look at the video before you post it. That was the beginning and the end of it. So at the end of the day, I'm going to be true to you guys and tell you what I honestly think about this desk. So here's the desk at its lowest setting, and it's just over 2 feet tall. We'll actually get a tape measure out and measure that in a second. But you do have different options, as I kind of touched on before. You do have different colors that you can choose and different stages. This is a 3-stage desk. So what that means is that the legs actually have 3 different parts to them. This is one part, there's another part inside of that, and then there's another part inside of that. So that enables you to get higher on the desk. You also have the ability to choose the color of the legs as well. Obviously I have black here. I think the other option is a silver color. The top is made of an MDF, a medium density fiberboard, and that's covered with a plastic laminate, which looks like wood. Now, unfortunately for me, my desk was damaged in transit. You know that people that work for the shipping companies are definitely not very careful, and it looks like a corner of a box or even maybe a forklift penetrated this box and gouged my tabletop here, which is kind of a bummer. But it actually works out well for this review, because what I did is I contacted FlexiSpot and asked them what would happen in a scenario like this. And they said, well, of course we would send out another top. So as long as the top is damaged in transit or anything is damaged in transit, they would replace it free of charge. The rep that I spoke with also said that there is a 5-year warranty on the frame and a 3-year warranty on the electronic parts on this. So it's good to know that the company will stand behind their product if something like this happens to you. So this is sort of a scratch. It actually, it's a gouge here. And like I said, it's probably a corner. I'll show you at the end of this video. This video is going to be sort of like a Quentin Tarantino movie. It's going to be out of order. In the beginning here, I'm showing you the review. And towards the end of the video, you're going to see the unboxing of this and kind of the stages of me building this. Like I said, it'll be like a Quentin Tarantino minus all the swear words and gore and storyline. But this gouge here definitely, happened with something penetrating the box. I do have some advice for FlexiSpot how they could avoid this in the future. But like I said, they will stand behind the product, and they wanted to send me a new top. They were kind of adamant about it. They actually kind of texted me afterward and said, hey, we'd like to send you another top. But I'm not really a guy that likes to waste, so what would I do with this tabletop if they sent me a new one and it's not that bad? So let's take a look at the underside of the desk here, and you'll probably note that there is a finish to the MDF here as well, which is not too common, and it's actually very nice and welcome. You have these cages in here, which again will we'll go into more detail when I show you the end of this video where I build this thing, but this is a cable management area where you can have some of the cables. There are several cables that come out of it. You have one motor here that controls this leg over here, and then you have an identical motor down here which controls the other leg, and then you have a control box behind here, and you have wires going, you know, to that control box, and then also to the actual controls, which you can see the back of right there. So the cables are nicely tucked away under here. You're not really going to be noticing what's going on here when you're using this, so it's nice and tidy. The only cord that does come out is the power cord here, because you have to plug the desk in to operate it. So you have three options in the color of the top of this desk. You have the darker wood, which is this one here. You have a lighter wood, and then you have black as an option as well. Over here you have the controls, and you can mount them where you want. There are some pre-drilled holes under this desk, and then some you have to tap yourself. You have an option. I put the controls on the right side of the desk here, but you can put it over here, and the holes for that are pre-drilled. Everything is pretty much, you know, either the MDF or metal. The frame is very strong on this. This and maybe the power supply are the only two things that are plastic. So the way I have this desk configured, it costs $549.98. So this is where you control the height of the desk. Obviously, it has to be plugged in order for this to work. You have a display here, which is going to tell you a couple of things, most notably how high the desk is. So if I press the up or down arrow, it's going to move the desk. It is as low as it will go. So that says 24.4 inches. Hopefully you can read that. I don't know if you can. It looks like there's a little bit of a glare because I do have a light on my camera. So I have my tape measure out here, and it looks like it measures 24.25 inches, so close enough. So that's from the bottom of the desk, though. That's from the bottom of the top here. So if you went to the top part of it, you're looking at 25.25. So really not that important if it's totally accurate on the display here, because you're not going to get a measuring device out like I did here. You're just going to use this sort of as reference. You're going to say, well, this is comfortable for a certain height, and then, you know, you can adjust it. You also have the availability to adjust and put into memory 3 separate desk heights. So I already have one height put into memory here, and that's under slot number 1 here. It's a good height for if I want to present something on this channel. I want to be standing behind the desk and talk to the camera and have something in front of me. So it's under preset number 1. Typically, if the display is not on, you have to press it once and then press it again, and then it will move. So there we go, 37 inches high. So here is that 37 inches in height, and it's a good height here for me to, you know, work with something and then be able to talk to a camera here. I'm also probably going to be putting a secondary camera going down in case I'm doing a computer build here, so I can film from 2 separate cameras here. But this is a really good height, and I like that I have put it in my preset. Now let's take a look at how you actually put a height in the preset. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring it down to the height of my desk with my editing rig on it. And I think I overshot it. There we go, a little bit higher. So that is 28.6. So if I want to put that into memory and put it into memory 2, we're going to hit M for memory. And then we have S for save. Let's hit that again. And then we're going to hit 2, and there we go. So if I put it back up to 1, it'll bring it up to 1, and then it should save point number 2. Let it stop at 37 and bring it back down to, there we go. So that's one of the nice features on this desk, that you can have presets. And that leads me into the A button here. This is actually an alarm. So like I said before, people who are interested in standing desks generally are interested in it because of health reasons. Because if you have a job where you're sitting down for 8 hours a day, it's not very healthy for you. You should at least get up once in a while. In this scenario, you can set a reminder for you to change your working situation. In other words, for you to either stand up and get around, or you can actually set an alarm to remind you to raise your desk or put it at a different level. All right, so let's give this a try. Hit A to wake it up, hit it again to set your time. You saw on there. Now it shows 1 minute. So that's flashing right now. I can adjust it when it's flashing. When the colon is flashing, that means it's actually counting down that 1 minute. So I'm going to hit A again to get back into that mode where I can adjust it. I can actually do it up to 99 minutes and any minute in between 1 and 99 minutes, which is a good amount of time. It's almost an hour and 40 minutes. You don't really want to be sitting much longer than that. So it's doing the countdown from 99 minutes. I'm not going to have you wait that long. I'm going to put it back on 1. Oh, hit it one too many times. There we go. Put it back on 1, and there we go. I'm not even going to have you wait the 1 minute. I just want you to hear what the alarm is like. So there you go. That's the alarm. It's not too loud, but it's definitely going to be audible so you can change your position. So if you did not hit a button on here while that alarm was going off, it's going to remind you again, unless you turn it off. So if when the alarm is going off, you hit a button, it's going to turn it off, or you can actually turn it off by holding the A button until you get an off on the display here. So the first time I saw one of these style of desks was at IKEA, and I really liked the idea of having something that you can adjust the height for. This could work in many different scenarios. Again, the lowest setting is 24.4 inches. You could actually almost use that as a coffee table if you wanted to, and then raise it up. There's so many different options to choose from for it. Obviously, this is being sold as a desk, and that's what I'm going to be using it for. I will not be putting my computer on it, but I am going to be using it in a whole host of ways, which really take advantage of the adjustability of the desk. The desk is very sturdily built. That's definitely a plus. I like the feet area down here because they're rounded, so you're not really going to stub your toe, or if you do, you have a less likelihood of hurting yourself on this. Now, you'll see when I actually build this that I put little felt pads on the feet down here that did not come with the desk itself, but they're very inexpensive to acquire at a home improvement store. The reason for that is it allows me to slide this around my hardwood floor without damaging the hardwood floor. And this desk weighs in at least over 100 pounds, if not more. So it's a heavy desk, and you don't want that scratching up your floor. You do have options to actually get casters to put under here. And when I saw a desk like this, not this particular style or company who made that desk, but when I saw a desk like this at IKEA, they had their desk on casters as well. So that is an option that you could do on this because the feet actually unscrew, which is another option that you can take advantage of. When you have the feet that they kind of unscrew, they allow you to adjust the desk in case you have an uneven floor, so that way you're not going to have a wobbly desk. But everything is very sturdily built, and so far I really like the desk. So what we've got here is a box that I'm probably not going to be able to do an effective unboxing on because it is pretty large and it's one of 2 boxes for this desk. So as you can tell by the title of this video, this is a FlexiSpot adjustable standing desk that I'm going to actually be putting together. And this is box number 1, which contains the mechanical aspect, the frame of this desk, and then box number 2 actually contains the desk top. So I got the box open here, as you can see, this long heavy box, and this is again the frame portion of everything. It is made out of a very sturdy metal here,
and that's what contributes to the weight. Of course, you do want something that is going to be sturdy when you have a desk like this. So here are the instructions here, and let's see what we got here. Now I'm going to build this, and again I'm going to be giving you updates as I do this, and I'll let you know if it's self-explanatory or at least easy to follow the directions here. So here's everything from box number 1 laid out. It doesn't look like there are a lot of pieces to put together. It looks like it was just broken down enough to fit it in a box for shipping. Everything was very well packaged. The package was protected with styrofoam in there, and it doesn't seem like anything was damaged in shipping, so that's a good thing. Okay, so we have box number 2 here. This is the desktop here. So you can see on the box here, it gives the dimensions of the work surface. It's 55 inches wide by 30 inches long by 1 inch deep in thickness. So as I open it up, first of all, you can see the color of the desktop, which I like. You'll also notice this is just me cutting it open. So this is, I have taken nothing out of here. You might notice there's a gouge in this packaging from shipping. So as I open that up, unfortunately, that gouge is also on the finish of the desktop here. So it probably would have been better had everything been covered with a protective foam like the corners are. It's a high quality foam here. So it's not the brittle kind, it's the more flexible foam. If they had a sheet of this over the entire thing, this probably would not have been a problem here. So some sort of a bummer to see this like this. So this is one of 4 corner pieces in the packaging, and it is of a high quality. You have this flexible foam here. You have a higher density foam here that runs, I'll show you on this one, it runs all in what would be the edge of the desk on the corner here. So everything is of a high quality. Even the cardboard is very thick, and it's built very well to protect the sides of it, even on the other parts of the sides, which runs up the entire side of the box here. You have this very thick corrugated cardboard here. So everything looks very protected except the areas where you have the desktop there. So as you can tell, it's very camouflaged up here in my office. It really matches everything pretty nicely. But this is the desktop here. So it's been quite a while since I've put something together, especially furniture. But looking at the instructions here, you have everything labeled very nicely, A through E, and then corresponding over here, A through E, so you really can't mess it up. So far everything's going really smoothly. The directions are easy to follow. These are the legs, and these are the little feet here. It looks like you can unscrew them to extend them a little bit. That gives you the availability in case everything, in case you have maybe an uneven floor or something like that. You can adjust it so that you don't have a wobble on it, so that's nice. Now you do have this plastic on the bottom, and this is good in most scenarios, especially if you have a carpeted floor. Although for my scenario up here, this is hardwood that I actually personally finished. It was unfinished, and this is over a 100-year-old house. It was built in 1900. So I have these things all over the place because I have a lot of hardwood floors in my house. So these are pretty inexpensive pieces of very thick felt that you can buy at a home improvement store like a Lowe's or a Home Depot, or probably other places as well. And what I'm going to do, they have an adhesive on the back here. I'm just going to put 1 per foot. It's going to be, the adhesive part is going to be a little bit bigger than this disc here, but that's fine. You do have these little spokes coming out of there. So, I'm going to do that just to protect my floor. So there we go. I have these little felt areas stuck onto the feet. So that's going to make things a little bit more friendly for this hardwood floor. One thing worth noting is that thus far I haven't had to use any of my own tools to put things together. I haven't used this hex key yet, but I have used this one, and it's interesting because it actually has a screwdriver on one end, and even though it has a screwdriver, it still works as a hex key. So I've been using this end of it to put it together thus far. Okay, as you can see, I've made a lot of progress in here. We'll go over all the specifics in a minute, but I just kind of wanted, I'm actually under the table. Now, the instructions recommend that you have the table flipped over when you do this, but this is quite a heavy piece. So I'm trying it with laying on a pillow on the ground and mounting the screws in here. So apparently the frame here is made for multiple tops. So it actually adjusts here. I don't know if you can make this out here, but this piece is inside these rods here, and it allows it to extend. So I pretty much mounted down the top with all of the pre-drilled screw holes, but there are some where you have to kind of tap the screw yourself. These two here, these two I just did, but there were no pre-drilled holes for that, and it makes sense because, again, the top is made for different, I'm sorry, the frame is made for different tops, so I guess they don't have all the screw holes pre-drilled. So it probably would be easier to do this if the table was upside down, and I might still do that as an option because I have, I think, let's see, probably 8 more of these that I have to do, and I think there are 9 in total that you have to, screw in yourself. So I don't really want to get a drill out, but maybe if I got a nail and just started the hole there, that would enable me to get a better bite with those screws there. So I finally listened to the directions and I turned the table upside down. It's just easier that way. Now with the pre-drilled holes, which there are some still here, these are for where you're going to mount the controls. They're on either side here, so I guess that enables you to put it on whatever way you want. So it's nice, the pre-drilled holes, the screws go right in there, but when you have to make your own hole, as in this scenario here, for some reason my camera light keeps going on and off. I have it on automatic. But in that case, it's a little bit more challenging. You can't really use the Allen wrenches that they gave you, the hex tools, in order to do that. I mean, you could, but you're going to really tear up your hand. So I really didn't want to get the drill out because I don't want to drill through the top of this. I don't want to drill, a hole through it, even though I could be extra careful. But I'm finding that with a hammer and just hammering in the screw just to start it up, because the screws are, as I drop one, I'll pick that up in a second. So the screws, sorry for that strobing effect, that's annoying, but the screws are self-tapping. So as long as you can get a start on it and you can screw it in, I am using my own screwdriver here, which I've built all my computers with, and it's serving me well here. So I've just got 2 more screws to put in, and then I have to put in the controls. Obviously you can see there are some of the mechanics here where we're going to plug into a control box, and there's going to be a cage that goes over on either side here, and that is going to be basically the cable management on this. So the control box is mounted, and now it's time to connect everything to the power supply. Interesting enough, on the power supply, you have pins, you have, sorry for that annoying strobe effect, you have a 6-pin connector for one of the legs, you have a 6-pin connector for the other leg, and you have an Ethernet connector for the control panel. And then this is going to mount in here, and then you have these cable management cages. And this is the other end of the power supply. That should look familiar to you. Pretty standard cable. All right, everything is complete. It probably took me about an hour and a half from unboxing it to this point right now. And not too bad. I think it would have been a lot quicker had I not had to put those screws in and had they been pre-drilled. But pretty easy to put together. Just, make sure you have one of your own tools handy, because that hex key is not going to get those. I mean, like I said, you could probably get it in there, but it's going to tear up your hand. So that's the controller there. There is the control box where everything plugs into. So we have both of the motors, which is one here and one here right under the legs. We have them plugged in, as well as the control box, and then this cord out here is going to plug it into the wall. So there we go. There is the desk, and it really blends in really well with the with the actual wood paneling in the room here. And this is actually my office here, where I have my editing rig over here with the 3 monitors on it, and then this will be off to the side, sort of in an L configuration. So here you can see why this is called a 3-stage frame. You have stage 1 here, which is the outer part of it. Then you have stage 2 here, which fits inside of stage 1. And then you have stage 3 here, which fits inside of stage 2. So there we go. The desk tops out at 49.2 inches, and it's pretty high. I don't think, for my height, I'd ever use it at this height. I feel like a small child at an adult's table. Maybe if I had some bar stools, it would be different, but it's nice to know that you have a lot of availability for different heights on this desk, because everybody's, different height. So maybe you're very tall and this would be comfortable for you. Maybe you're very short and a lower level would be comfortable for you. I'm sort of an average height, so this is too high, but I definitely can find levels on here that are just right for me. So thus far, I really like this desk. And you're going to be seeing a lot more of it on this channel here, because I'm going to be using it as a background for a lot of different reviews and builds and stuff like that. So stay tuned for that. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Of course, if you want to help out this channel, you can give me a thumbs up. You can share this video on your favorite social media. If you liked this video, consider subscribing. Also, I have a Patreon that you could check out. Consider joining that if you want to help out the channel financially. And that's pretty much going to do it for this one. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.